Good morning. This is Karen from Karen's Retirement. Yes, I have changed my channel name several times, trying to figure out where I fit in and what have you. And this morning I want to discuss why I took retirement at 62. Now, in a few weeks, I'll be 65. Wow. And I'm good with it. I'm good with it. It's a little harder because my kids are in their early 40s. Like my oldest, Jason, is going to be 43 in August, and Josh will be 42 in August. They have the same birthday a year apart. Yes, they do. As well as my one and only grandson. He shares his dad's birthday, and then my youngest brother also has that birthday. Yeah, I'm going to be 65 in a few weeks. So I decided to take retirement at 62, and that was due to I have fibromyalgia. I've also been diagnosed as with IBS and bipolar disorder. And I really found being in the work environment to be, you know, really difficult the older I got. One, physically, because I do physical work. I did a lot of housekeeping over the years, worked for vacation rentals, worked in an Airbnb. I've also done factory work. I tried some of the Amazon facilities here in Indiana, and I'm sure I'm banned from ever being there ever again because I went from one to another just trying to make it work, but my knees really gave out. So my dad passed away in December of 22, just before Christmas. And I was in between working at his Amazon facility and trying someplace else out. So I went to a Walmart and I was doing some cleaning. I didn't last 2 weeks. Physically, I was in so much pain, and emotionally and mentally, especially after my dad and my stepmother passed away, I just wasn't in a good headspace anymore. So I told my kids that I was going to retire. And so a few months before my 62nd birthday, I went ahead and filed. And then in September, I started receiving said social. And it's been very interesting. For all the years I've worked, I'm only getting $940 a month. That's what I'm living on. The mobile home that I purchased back in March of last year, I ended up paying cash for because I received, along with a couple of my siblings, a small inheritance. And so I used that to get out of the renting world. It has been a difficult experience. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but I'm doing pretty good. I was going to paint, I was going to do floors, I was going to do all kinds of stuff. And I thought maybe it was because I was overwhelmed, and I was. But now at this point, after being here over a year, I just decided I didn't want to spend the money. I don't really have a savings. Like I said, I'm only getting $940 a month for my social. And, when I see other people, like on YouTube, talking about their retirement, how they're making so much more, they also have pensions and annuities and stuff like that. I don't have that. And I don't have those things. As a single parent, I was married for a few years, but as a single parent, all that money went to me and the kids. And granted, I didn't always use it wisely because I didn't know any better. So here I am, going to be 65 years old. I get $941 a month in social, and I'm not debt free. Just because I paid cash for my property and my mobile home doesn't mean I'm debt free. I still have student loans I need to pay for. Of course I have my insurance on my vehicle. I have insurance on the property. I also have taxes on my property. I have utility bills to pay. And so that was probably why I just decided I wasn't going to do the floorings, take out the carpet, do the painting. Because as you can see, it's okay here in the kitchen. It's green. I did put in 4 new windows because I couldn't use them. I put in new blinds. I also put in a new stove. I need to put in a new toilet in the master bathroom, but I don't use that at the back of the house. I sleep up front, and I'm okay with it. And now with his heat, woo! So my whole HVAC system wasn't working very well over the winter, and then I did find out that a capacitor out in the unit was like, you know how you put a can of soda in the freezer and it pops at the top? That's what it looked like. So they replaced that, and then a few days later we had thunderstorms, which the power kept coming off and on, totally burned out my thermostat. So now I have a new thermostat. So I'm really thankful that I did that. And both of those services were, I mean, together about $460. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to take a little bit out of my savings to pay for that. So yeah, I'm kind of monitoring how the system is working out to make sure it's not overtaxing my HVAC system and to see how comfortable I am in the house. But now, after being, retired for almost 3 years, I'm just starting to enjoy it a little bit. Trying to relax. I'm always like worried about my money, and working on a budget. I've always had a budget, but it's a little different now because I'm not working. Not that I ever made a lot of money, but retirement has been, it's been interesting, to say the least. I thought I would relax right away, but I haven't. I'm starting to relax a little bit. Trying not to beat myself up for taking an early retirement. I just really couldn't. I didn't realize that my physical issues were probably a lot stemmed from my mental and emotional state. So I still am physically having some issues. I would like to have a part-time job, but I know that I can't work outside the house in the normal manner that people would do. One, I don't like being around a lot of people. I pick up on BS real quick. I have a tendency to voice how I feel about those things. And then typically, because my name is Karen, Carin, Karen, I get called out for, oh, you're a Karen. My name's Karen. I'm standing up for myself. I'm not bad-mouthing anybody. I'm just talking about what's really going on. And when you tell stuff, you're the bad guy. Kind of shoot the messenger thing. But that's kind of hold off the whole retirement thing. So anyway, I've been retired for going on 3 years. I'm just starting to enjoy it. I'm still working on a different kind of budget, because I can't, I find that I want things that I don't need. I've been trying to do other ways of cooking, and I was going to get an Instapot and decided I didn't want to spend that kind of money on something that maybe I might use occasionally, so I haven't bought it. It can be a little difficult sometimes trying to make your money stretch, and oh gosh, how people with families and young kids manage to buy groceries, it's insane. I used to be able to spend $60, $70 on groceries once a week for myself and 2 teenage boys 20, 30 years ago. And so I know that the boys have been kind of, over the years, have wondered, what's the problem? We're not in the house anymore. Well, the cost of living has gone up. The cost of groceries is insane. I'm lucky if I can spend between $100 and $150 a week. And I see these people spending $100 or $200 a month to feed themselves. They're feeding themselves garbage to live because it's inexpensive. And I can't really go that route because I have food issues. I can't eat gluten. I eat beans and rice, but I buy beans. I buy rice. I soak them. I cook them myself. I do eat a lot of protein. I don't eat much in vegetables because they make me sick. The fruit I eat are generally cherries, strawberries, and blueberries. And those I buy frozen. I do a lot of my shopping at Aldi, some at Walmart. My Sam's Club and my Costco memberships have expired, and I know I won't pick up the Sam's one again. I might do the one for Costco, but it's like an hour and a half away from me. It's closer to my son, and if I go there, then typically I'll go to Costco and get a few things. But I like a variety of different proteins and things like that. So when I go to Costco, the expense is it's better than a regular store. But like I said, I do a lot of shopping at Aldi. That's kind of how I'm surviving. Um, I don't buy processed stuff very often. As much as I like it and it tastes good because it's full of MSG and trash, that's why you like it. That's why you crave it. That's why you want to eat it. And I occasionally still do that, and I suffer the consequences. As a matter of fact, I'm suffering the consequences yesterday and today because I ate something that's still very basically clean, but my stomach, my body doesn't want it. It affects my joints, especially my knees. My IBS kicks in, and that's why I keep Imodium AD around and stick close to the bathroom. But yeah, my retirement adventure has been interesting, and I'm hoping that I'll do better as I go along. I remember my dad saying many years ago when he retired, it took him several years, because it was like, well, where do I fit in? Where do I belong? Who am I now? And that's kind of how I felt when my sons got out of high school and they both joined the military. You raise your kids to not need you anymore, but when they leave like they should, you don't realize how much it hurts. And it's not something that they did. I mean, go do your thing, go have your family, live your life. And now I'm trying to figure out mine, because for the last 20 years, I haven't figured it out. I've been kind of lost. Ooh, excuse me. But I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I really am. I love that they have their lives and that they're doing so well, and with their families, and they get to do the things that they want to do because they are at least unlike their mother who is financially illiterate. They are way in a different place, which is awesome for me. But like I said, retirement for me has been, gosh, I don't know how to put it. Joyful, stressful, just trying to figure out who I am and where I belong. But any tips or hints that some of you have that you can pass along would be fabulous. I'd really like that. I don't have friends. I don't have friends anymore, which is kind of a double-edged sword, I guess. Most of my neighbors are fabulous. I do have a neighbor that's but he's not home most of the time. He drives a truck and he's gone, and it is what it is. But I've had neighbors come and mow my yard because I have an Ego electric mower, whatever, it has a battery to it, but there's so much property that I can't keep up with it. Even though it's just like a smidge over an acre. It's a lot for me to mow, and with this heat, I can't do it. So, my neighbor's out mowing and he's on his rider. I'm thinking about getting a riding lawnmower. And maybe that would help. But I've also been debating on, do I want to stay here? And with the prices of rent and the prices of, homes on the market, nope, I'm good here. I'm good here. I have everything I need. I have everything that I need. Yeah. And a lot of what I want. So I can't say retirement's not going well. It's still a work in progress, and so am I. And yeah. So like I said, if you have any advice to share with me about retirement, please feel free to share it. I'll see you guys soon.